Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another 2024 election update, and I am just inundated with news here on this Sunday morning. We've got so much stuff. We've got Jill Biden versus Kamala versus Hillary going on right now within the Democratic Party. They're talking about Biden possibly stepping down. There's a meeting supposedly today. We're going to get to that here very soon. But right now, we do have presidential election winner betting update. Trump up to 62% chance. Biden a new low since this really started, at least when we knew it was Biden versus Trump, down to 17% chance. Gavin Newsom right now, 9% chance. Kamala at a 7% chance. Michelle Obama, who a lot of people have been talking about recently. The narrative has shifted from Newsom to Obama. RFK Jr. at 2%, very unlikely. I do think he could win maybe some small states based on maybe a Trump versus Newsom type matchup, but I do think they are going for Michelle. That's their only chance in 2024. The Democrats are obsessed with the Obamas. They view the Obamas as liberal gods to that party, and they're really controlling everything. And so they know right now I think it's either going to be Michelle or Joe Biden. I don't think Newsom, it's just the name recognition is not there. Kamala would be worse than Biden, even though Biden is completely lost with, his cognitive ability, everything like that. But let's take a look at the actual update. We have it right here. The end is near. We've got Biden meeting with his immediate family members at Camp David. Well, he's going back to Camp David after spending like 10 days there trying to prepare for the debate. He's headed back there. Family will be there to discuss his long-term medical care plan. Biden could be in hospice by the end of the year. And so this is very critical if this is correct, if it is true. It just signals that this is going to be happening. And I think for me, I've thought strategically, Biden, he's an incumbent. If you go to someone else, it's going to look terrible in terms of your party. It just looks totally disheveled. Like you've got Biden, you've been saying for years, he's fine, he's fine, he's fine. He flops during the debate. The Republicans were right on everything. And now you're sitting there saying, because his approval rating is going to go only lower. Trump's going to be up by 10, 15 points in many of these swing states. Now we're going to remove him. It just looks so bad for your party. That's why I've thought, the next day after the debate, they bring him out to North Carolina and a few different places, and they've got him fired up. They've got him hopped up on stuff, and they're like, no, he's fine. No, that was probably just a cover. They want to remove him, but they need to wait. They don't want to make it seem like because he had a bad debate performance, they're removing him. So you see Obama tweeting out. Obama admitted in a tweet, I'm going to go to it, that, Biden lost the debate. It was terrible. And then kind of gave this support, nothing of a statement. It was just, I think Obama wants Biden out right now. And they're trying to convince Jill. Jill is extremely power hungry. She's going around. She's got all these vote signs on her dress, and she's cropping Joe while she's talking in a tweet out of her videos. You have Joe right next to Jill. Jill is talking, and it's it's a vertical video with Joe completely cut out, and Jill is just there talking. Jill right now, I think we have the first female president. So congratulations to Jill Biden. Joe is not doing anything. It's all Jill. And Jill is just clenching on to the power, the last resort. She's putting her foot down. She's saying, no, it's not happening. You have to think, and this is just my speculation, the power structure of the Democratic Party is so lenient on the Obamas, they would be able to bully Jill very easily out of the White House. And now, the narrative is Biden might have to be hospitalized. That's why we're doing it. It's not because Biden sucked during the debate and we've been lying for 3 years about his ability. No. Now it's just so bad. It's so catastrophic. This has been bad for years. It's just like the narrative they try and swing after the debate. Oh, yeah, Biden was bad. It's like they try and be bipartisan. I'll admit Biden was bad at the beginning of that debate, but he crushed Trump on the actual issues and the substance. Don't let them do that. It's totally ridiculous. Biden could barely talk throughout the entire thing, and he lost, even the topics that Democrats are supposed to win, like abortion. He was a total train wreck throughout the entire thing. So, they're panicking right now. There are some Democrats, kind of the whipping boys, who are still like supporting Biden because they've been told to if they decide to stick with Biden. But at this point, a lot of the inner Democrats, someone like Van Jones comes out crying. He's like, all right, we see it. We're trying to win this election. It's just not going to happen with Biden. He can't even walk. He's going to need a cane. And the only reason they haven't given him a cane yet is because of the optics. They don't want him to appear old. You get him a cane, the guy can barely walk. I'm sorry. It's very sad. And now they're like, oh, there's medical problems, things like that. They're trying to change it to where it's like they have to have him step down. And the rumors now are that you're going to have a massive rally before the DNC with Hillary, with Schumer, with Pelosi, both of the Obamas, both obviously of the Bidens, and Joe's going to go up there. He's going to step down. I mean, this could potentially be a Democrat political orgy. Okay, if they actually go through with this, where they're just going to have everyone major there, and they're going to be like, this is a democratic process. We will, all of the delegates will elect who the people want per their state during the DNC. And of course, it's going to be chosen. I would think it'd be Michelle Obama if she's up for it. That's really their only hope at this point. And there's been people that have come out and said, even last year, Roger Stone saying that it will be Michelle Obama. The narrative changed. The betting odds for her were taken off the board at a certain point, and now everything's kind of shifted. It could still be Newsom. I don't think Newsom has the name recognition, and I think Trump's not going to fall for the Newsom crap where he wants to debate 50 times and give Newsom more political spotlight. You don't want to give him spotlight. It's going to look bad. Newsom from California, 0 chance of winning the Rust Belt. He's got no shot. If you have 0 chance of winning the Rust Belt and you're a Democrat in 2024, you do not have a path because you're not winning Florida, you're not winning Ohio, you do not have a path. I think they can't choose Newsom. He's not relatable to the Midwest. They've got to deploy Michelle as a last-ditch resort or just keep Biden because keeping Biden is a possibility. Notice how they're trying to swing it and say the second half of the debate was good, and then the expectations will be very low in September, and they're going to have Biden possibly, perform better in the September debate than he did. I mean, it'd be hard not to. And they can kind of swing it and say, see, Biden's fine. It was just one-off night. That's what Barack said. He said, oh, it's only one-off night. It's not a big deal. I think Barack probably still wants Biden to leave. There's a power structure right now with Jill Biden just being so nasty. And the Obamas are probably going to have to bully Jill Biden out of power because Jill Biden is just, she's taken over. I mean, this is crazy stuff. It's being reported everywhere. You also do have this reporter. What do you say to Trump, who blames you for orchestrating January 6th? Oh, so this is after where Trump said in the debate that Nancy Pelosi in a video, in a car, admitted, I don't know if this was a day after January 6th or what, admitted that, yes, we did not have the correct number of police. If you watch any of the videos, it is so abundantly clear. Here it is right here. That's the video. We should have had more police. We should have had the National Guard. You watch it. There's just those metal gates up on January 6th. There's like 10 police officers. There's thousands of Trump supporters. You would figure they would call it right away. Nancy Pelosi's like, this is ridiculous. And then Pelosi says, this is after he's a fool in responding to Trump and what he said during the debate. He thinks I planned my own assassination. So obviously she's being completely overdramatic. She's sensationalizing it. And the history with that video, the GOP had to dig that video up a few weeks ago. They originally hid it. They hid that video of Pelosi admitting they didn't have the proper presence. They should have had the National Guard there. Of course, this was all, I think, orchestrated by the left. They wanted the, political outrage and the craziness of the Trump supporters entering the Capitol. It's not good enough to be right outside of the Capitol, protesting and being very rowdy and possibly getting into a few fights with cops. They needed the spectacle of them entering to gain political leverage over Trump and hold January 6th against him. And now Trump is denying to answer any question in regards to January 6th. Republicans are trying to spin it saying he didn't take the bait. No, I think it is important for Trump to discuss it, although maybe it won't matter if they still run Biden. I think Trump's going to win either way. But there are ways to explain this if you are Trump. You put out a tweet at 3 o'clock. People have referenced it saying, go home. The police are there to protect you. They're our friends. and then he puts out a video at 4 o'clock. So Trump, and then even at noon when he was giving a speech, he said be peaceful. So you can explain this. It's not like Trump said go into the Capitol and he's trying to defend himself. He never said that. They're just using the days leading up. He constantly said the election was stolen, and that's what caused the riot and the Trump supporters, when even the leaders of the movements that entered the Capitol, like the Oath Keepers, said before they went in, like at 12:30, right when Trump was giving his speech, they said, this speech sucks, Trump's not doing enough, it's a dud, we need to take matters into our own hands. So is that not enough proof? So that's what's really going on here, and obviously the January 6th, I think Trump can explain that, but he doesn't want to talk about it. Is what it is. We've got this. Oh yeah, look at that. Vote, 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 vote. She's speaking. She's the president. Joe's standing there. He's like, get me out of here now. He needs to be in a nursing home. He needs to be settled. He needs to be in his bed 12, 13 hours a day. It's sad to see. Jill is on a total power trip. And this is the thing. It's the difference between women and men. Men, you can tell with the testosterone, they just fight. With women, it's all calculated. And that's why this is so sad to see this playing out with Jill Biden controlling Joe. Joe at this point can barely do anything. The Her report admits it. They're like, we can't charge him. We feel bad. He's so old. He's almost, brain dead at this point, basically. So they didn't charge him. I mean, that's what they said. They said he can't remember anything. He couldn't remember when he was vice president, which was just, 2008 to 2016. So this is really bad when you've got an investigation ongoing about the documents, and you've got the lead investigator, Robert Hur, coming out and admitting, I can't charge him because he's not fully functional. Is that not an issue? And then the Democrats try and spin that like Biden was never charged for the documents when there's videos of him. They're in this sweaty garage and they're trying to compare. And with Trump, it's already come out. They're taking photos of Trump's bathroom. They're going through Melania's underwear, trying to find the documents in the underwear. And then they put classified plastered right in front of everything. They take the photos. They don't tell everyone that is the actual protocol. You put it on top to cover what the documents actually are because they're classified. And then people are like, Trump's an idiot. There's classified right there. Why would you take that? Of course, that's not really what happened. That was manipulated, and then they let it happen. They didn't explain it properly. And that was where the narrative came from. And you've got Biden here again coming in and it's almost like it's a celebration. He comes in and he squats and smiles, and there's Jill in front. Jill's the president. There she is waving. You've got Biden doing God knows what in the back. It's another squat for him, but it looks like it's almost a squat on purpose, like he's celebrating something as he's walking into the Waffle House. So it's very strange there, and Jill's the president right in front. The DNC having emergency call with their members today with the Biden campaign in New Jersey. The emergency call comes after top Democrat donors and advisors met with Joe and Jill last night and reportedly told Biden to step down. So this is huge stuff if this is true. Some of the donors, that they're very pissed. I mean, think about the donor influence on CNN. You had CNN literally like fast forwarding through commercials at the end of that debate to get to the narrative spin and to say, we love Biden, but oh my God, we're getting phone calls 3 minutes into the debate from top Democratic advisors saying, this is bad, we have to get him out. They needed to change the narrative immediately, and that got everyone into removing Biden. And now you've got all the top donors. I know it was also reported that some of the donors wanted to keep Biden because it's going to be very hard. They're going to have to use the 25th Amendment to try and get Newsom or Michelle on the ballot in a few states where right now, we'll see what they end up doing. I think it's going to take something like to where Biden, something happens with a doctor saying, okay, he is unfit. Like, it's not just going to be Biden stepping down and saying, I can't do this. There's going to have to be something tangible there to where the public's like, okay, it makes sense. Rather than Biden just having a horrible debate, his, approval numbers going way down, the American people would be like, that's ridiculous. Because you're about to lose an election, you're going to try and, install someone else. So they have to swing it. This is why everyone thought they were going to remove Biden 4 or 5 months ago, because you'd have a lot more of a runway to get the new candidate, not only, into the race and into just the general scope and get their name out there, whoever it ends up being, but also allow them to potentially debate other Democrats during the primary. It's free publicity. So this is crazy that Biden has been able to hold on to power this long. 25th Amendment Democrats are coming to terms with the fact that Jill is running her husband's campaign. Obama is furious. He met with the president in an effort to get him to step down. He was sidelined by Dr. Biden, which is just totally ridiculous. I understand you go to school 2 decades or whatever, you get a doctorate, but even people that get doctorates for education and other things outside of the medical field will admit and say, we don't call ourselves doctors because that's reserved and that's more of a thing that society uses for people that save people. There's a lot of responsibility around being a doctor. Jill has been abundantly clear. If you don't call me doctor, you're disrespecting. She's just so nasty to people if they don't call her doctor. Well, no, in society, it's generally accepted that if you're Dr. Biden, you operate on people and you have that responsibility. That's why many people with doctorates don't refer to themselves as doctors, right? But Jill is just abundantly clear she needs to do that. Jill Biden told Obama that her husband would never surrender. So Obama has this meeting with Biden and Jill railroads the entire thing. It's being reported according to this. They want to use the 25th Amendment. They want to say Biden's incompetent. He can't run. He can't go on. He's not mentally capable, which everyone agrees with, but they're waiting now. They wanted to see how the debate went. Why would they have a debate in June? It makes no sense. They tried to use the excuse of, it's because of mail-in voting, early voting. But even then, why wouldn't you have the debate in late July or even early August? It's like you could have a debate August 3rd and then, mid-September. That would make a lot more sense. June for a presidential debate before either of the candidates have officially been chosen? It's so strange to me, and there's obviously something fishy there. We've got RFK saying he's open to replacing Biden as the Democratic nominee. Now, that's false. Now, see, this leading report, I like them, but there's no way. RFK was completely railroaded by the Democratic Party. That's why he ran as an independent. He was treated horribly. His entire family, who are raging liberals now, came out against him and supported Biden. This just seems completely false. So they need to make sure, you get on X, there's a big incentive around just tweeting out whatever because you get money now. You're incentivized with Elon. Obviously, there was always an incentive with tweeting out random stuff that kind of made people respond because you get the dopamine hit, you get all of the interactions. But this type of stuff, look, maybe it somehow is true. I'd be very surprised. So you need to be a little more accurate than this. I like leading report. They've been having some good stuff, but stuff like this where it's like RFK, who was completely railroaded, they didn't even let him debate. His family came out against him, would be open to going back to them. I mean, if that is true, that's very weak for RFK. And also for the Democrats, it's like RFK is too Republican for them. I do think RFK is a pretty good independent because you have many Democrats saying he's too Republican. You have many Republicans saying he's too liberal. So that's really what you want if you are an actual independent. But to me, that would shock me if that actually happened based on how they've treated him. He would go crawling back to them and they would actually take him. I think they'd rather just go with Michelle. But technically, his name has been, I mean, they have done internal polling, RFK has, against Trump, and they say he leads. Mainly because he's less polarizing than Trump. I don't know how it would work. I don't think he could beat Trump even as the Democratic nominee, but he would get more independent support because he's seen more as an independent. But then you have RFK, who's already said horrible things about the Democratic establishment. They would never go for that. Obama and Hillary and all of them, they would say no way. So I think they'd rather go with Biden instead of RFK personally. You've got Roger Stone with his prediction back in 2020. Look at this. This is 2023, July 16th. So almost a year ago, predicting Michelle Obama will be the Democrat Party nominee in 2024 at Turning Point USA. You also do have, where the all of these different Proud Boy events, they're all staged. They, all these white dudes have these masks on. If this was actually like a Proud Boy or Patriot Front, whatever, to where, they're a white movement group, they would act completely different. They go there and they stand like NPCs. That's what they do because it's all FBI informants. It's been, it looks like Headline USA now has reported, look at these people. They're all covered up. These are literal NPCs that you'd find in a video game, and they tell them just go out there and stand, and we can use it as political leverage. And the right is racist, and the white supremacy and all that stuff. We've got Tommy Tuberville coming out and saying the president is not actually running the country. It's actually the so-called deep state. Well, yes, with the rise of social media, people have realized this, and also with just Joe Biden and the way that he really has been the past 3-4 years. I said back in 2020, before the election, this is a total farce. How is Biden going to make it 4 years? Well, it turns out he's probably not. And even if he does, they're dragging him to the finish line, literally dragging him because he can barely walk, and they don't want to give him a cane because it's bad optics. This is a train wreck. So we know Biden, it's someone else that's running it. You could say it's Jill. I highly doubt it. I think it is still Obama. I mean, like, you would have to be born yesterday to not think Barack has an extreme influence in this administration. He's obviously still in his political prime. He's perfectly fine. You can hear him talk. You know, there's nothing wrong with him. And he was president for 8 years. His VP, who is severely declined. Like, if you asked right now, like, who's the better politician, Biden or Obama, it's so funny in America because Obama's already served 2 terms. He can't run again, but it's like, it's night and day. So I would say behind the scenes, it's a proxy government with Obama and Biden just being the figurehead, and they have to try and roll him out during these debates and like pray and give him the right, the right things and the right medicine to make sure he can function. And he could kind of function towards the end, but the beginning was so bad they can't hide it. And now they had to change the narrative, and they tell CNN, when you get back from commercial, you hammer it. You hammer it. Van Jones come out, start crying, be like, Joe, we love you. You have to step down. And then Biden finally steps down in about a month and says, oh, I love the country. I've sacrificed so much, but now we've had something happen. There's been a complication. My doctor says I have to step down. This is a ceremony. This is great. We're going to bring in someone at the DNC. It's going to be Democratic, and it's going to be Michelle. So that's probably what's going on there. At least that's what I would guess. Oh, yeah, so this is more of the cope. They had to try and spin the debate. Like I said, they said, well, they tried to be bipartisan because everyone knows that Biden was a train wreck in terms of his ability to actually function, especially at the beginning. So they're like, yes, we're bipartisan. We'll admit Biden struggled at the beginning. But in terms of actual topics and actual debate, Biden crushed Trump. Of course, that's not true at all. They're just coping, trying to manipulate things by saying that, well, Biden's cognitive still isn't good, but he beat Trump on the actual issues. It's totally false. Not only that, they come out and they say, Trump lied about everything. Are you kidding me? Have you watched a political debate? Biden was lying left and right. That's also not an argument they can use. They're trying to spin it. There's nothing there. Biden got crushed. CNN admits it was 63 or 66 to 33 in terms of who won the debate. You've got these panels of independents saying, like 14 total that were that watched the debate. 12 of them now have shifted to Trump. It's not even close. And the spin is that, oh, Trump lied a lot. Here it is, Biden lying. Oh, how about the fine people? That's crazy that Biden actually used that. I thought I was living in the Twilight Zone. Snopes, out of nowhere, about 3 days before the debate, comes out and admits Trump never said that, Nazis were fine people. And I was like, where's this coming from? And it was a big story. Like, legitimately, people were like, wow, they finally admitted it. The story, nobody was even talking about that at that point. It was completely irrelevant. Well, Biden, for some reason, brings the exact thing up during the debate, which had been debunked by Snopes randomly 3 days ago. And it was a big story on X. So Biden's advisors, with a huge mistake, and Trump should have said that. Trump said it was debunked. But if I was Trump, I'd be like, Joe, this is unbelievable. Snopes randomly came out 3 days ago and debunked it. It was a huge story, and you're still saying it after it was debunked 3 days ago. So it's crazy. His advisors really messed up. Biden has no clue what's going on. Obviously, he's just, he's told what to say. And you could even see, and I didn't mention this, you could even see during the debate how when Biden would respond to Trump and he'd have that insult at the beginning, it was all rehearsed. It was all calculated. Like he would say his little insult and it would just seem so ridiculous. Like, that's the biggest malarkey, or that everything he said was lies. But it's like so rehearsed. It's like they had a script where it's like, all right, when you respond to Trump, these are the negative things you have to say. Liar, malarkey, all these different things. And it just is so inorganic. It's just a script. Biden does not have the ability to take what Trump says, realize the areas and the flaws to where Trump could be lying about something and call Trump out on it. He just doesn't have that ability. He has to stick to a script. And so that's another big thing that's a big issue for them. Oh no, more bad news for Democrats. Biden cannot be replaced on the ballot in 3 swing states except for death or the 25th Amendment. So there's a lot going on about this, especially in Wisconsin, Nevada, and then also Georgia. But is there a loophole with the 25th Amendment they could potentially use? It's very interesting to think about. There's a lot of people. Look at this. This was just weird. This dude's out there rapping. And he's like rapping, calling the supporters dumb. It was an interesting thing there. This is a video. Oh, this is amazing. This is crazy that people don't even know this happened. And I'm thankful that this is out there now, but nobody's going to care, obviously. This is the video that Donald Trump posted on January 6th, telling people to go home peacefully, and that he just mentioned at the debate. Twitter took the video down after 5 minutes. They prevented people from hearing it. So they're saying that Donald Trump incited the Capitol riot, the protest, whatever you want to call it. He with his words, he didn't actually say go into the Capitol. The day of, an hour before the riot, it said be peaceful. But because the lead up was that Trump said the election was stolen, that's enough to say that he incited violence against the Capitol, and he should be charged, and he's responsible for his supporters, even though he said on the same day, an hour before they went into the Capitol to be peaceful, he should be charged with that. And then you have Trump, who, my God, must be the literal God because he controls everything and what every person does, according to these people. Trump comes out at 4 o'clock and says, go home, stop doing this. And they take it down 5 minutes later. Wouldn't you want that to stay up? Like, my God, if Trump is this, literal God who controls every single action of his supporters, him putting out this statement, would you not want the rioting to stop? So these people, it's just total hypocrisy left and right. You can't keep up with it. It is crazy. But you also do have The View, Joy Behar claiming CNN did something to Biden that threw him into this state. So now, guys, this is unbelievable. I can't believe this. And several liberals have said this. Now CNN is in bed with Trump. This is crazy. This is totally going to change the election. CNN, Jake Tapper, they support Trump. They're huge MAGA people. This is awesome. CNN now supports Trump. It's CNN, Fox News, the Dream Team against MSNBC. Oh my God. Trump's going to have all the news, all the coverage. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. These people are just coping. CNN is liberal. Biden he couldn't talk. I don't know. Do you want Jake Tapper to stick his hand up Biden's ass and talk for him? Do you want that to happen? Now, I will say Biden, there was something going on at the beginning of the debate. I don't know what happened to him, but he was on something that was not good for him. I will agree there. All right, that's just that. Yeah, so I think I've gone on long enough in this video, but there's huge stuff. There's multiple meetings a day. Obama's involved. Hillary potentially involved. They're saying maybe they'll run Hillary again. It's unlikely. They're not going to retread Hillary after Trump already beat her and kind of owns her at this point. It would be Michelle. It would maybe be Newsom. But Newsom would get crushed in the Rust Belts. He can't relate, being from California. The lockdowns, there's too much baggage. So do they really go with Michelle? And is the whole thing like, well, Michelle Obama comes out and says, I didn't want to run, but because Trump is such a threat, I feel the need to. That's what it's going to be. And will Kamala stay on as VP, or will they? I think she's going to have to stay on. Apparently, Kamala is pissed off. They're passing over her because she thinks she should be the president now. And there's infighting with Kamala, Jill, and all of them. So it's a total mess right now. I do think whatever Obama says, that's what's going to actually happen. I don't think Jill Biden can stop it. They might still keep Biden on, but this is stuff we need to follow. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.